Hey, good morning everyone. Welcome to Sober Jable. I am Joshua Abel. If you're liking these videos, make sure to subscribe, comment below, and like them. So I got home from work yesterday, and yesterday was a weird day. I noticed it as soon as I walked in the door. There was just this weird energy in the entire restaurant. Not just with the guests, but with managers and with other employees, with cooks. It was just a weird day. Like, people were just off their game. Food wasn't getting run out. Orders were getting messed up. The kitchen was slow. Guests were kind of off and on. I mean, it was just a strange experience yesterday. Not that any experience there is normal, but it was overtly abnormal yesterday. But I got out alive and I made a little bit of money. You know, it's never what I hope for or never what I expect. I guess I shouldn't really expect anything anymore. But I did get an email from a company. I'd revamped my resume and put it on Indeed. And within a day, I received an email inviting me for an interview for a marketing position, which is very cool. So I'm going to contact them today and set that up. Other than that, so far it's a beautiful day. It's about 7 a.m. I've been up for an hour or so. And I'm looking forward to the day. I've got a lot that I'd like to get done. I want to get some videos going, some work on my book. It's been about a week or so since I've worked on my book, and I need to pick that back up and get rolling on that. At least get, another chapter done or so, hopefully before I go into work. And yeah, so far the day's looking pretty good. I'll probably try and squeeze in a nap too, so, But I'll check back in a bit. I hope you're doing well. Take care. Now, I've got between 60 and 90 days sober, and life is going pretty well. It's not perfect, but then again, it probably never will be. But right now, I'm in a pretty good spot. I've got an interview coming up, which gives me hope for the future. I've got a good support system going on. I'm with a loving family. And, I've got some money coming in. I've got wheels. I've got friends contacting me through Facebook and text, offering up support and just checking in to see how I'm doing. So how do I not screw this up this time? There was a point where I've gone through sobriety a couple of different times, and I had 2 years at one point, and then, decided to screw it up. Well, I've been taking a look at that and trying to learn from my past mistakes. And so in order to do that, I actually had to determine how those mistakes came about, and actually pinpoint what those mistakes were. So I'm thinking one was having FOMO, the fear of missing out. I see people come into the restaurant, it's a large group of people. They're all having cocktails and they're having such a good time. And I take a look at that and I'm like, gee, I wish I could have that. I really want that. I really want a core group of friends that I can go out with and, have a couple of drinks and laugh and exchange stories and things like that. That kind of thinking will cause me to get into trouble. Actually kind of mourning alcohol, for lack of a better turn of phrase. Thinking that that part of my life is missing. So I really need to analyze and observe and really take heed to the fact that I am not able to do that. That doesn't mean I can't go out with people, and if they're drinking, make sure that they know my circumstance, my situation, as to why I'm not able to drink. And if they're really good friends, then they would truly understand. So that fear of missing out, that FOMO of, having something missing in my life. I need to find a substitute for what alcohol gave to me. And I'm finding that through creativity and through my book and videos and Etsy, substituting the alcohol for actually something productive, like something creative, which I've always enjoyed. Another mistake that I made was thinking that I could do it in moderation. And every time I would start drinking again, it was fine. I'd be able to have a drink or two and put it down. But it would always escalate into daily drinking and overindulging in alcohol. One vodka tonic or gin and tonic would turn into a bottle of straight vodka or straight gin or, wine or, I wasn't picky, pretty much anything other than beer. I would down that stuff. So the mindset of thinking that I can do this in moderation or that I can control it has to be demolished. I am coming to the realization after many trials and errors that I mentally and physically cannot control it. And so accepting that fact about myself and understanding and actually embracing it should help me to continue on this path of sobriety. Another mistake that I made was stop hanging out with like-minded people. So when I was sober and really in it, I was going to meetings every single day. I developed friendships and relationships within the walls of AA, and I was comfortable because I was surrounded by people who were going through the same experiences that I was. And so we were able to relate and communicate about those experiences, as well as other factors of life. Now, when I would develop after a period of time a feeling of, oh, I got this, I can handle life on my own, and I would allow other things to take precedent over hanging out with those people, such as work. At that time, I was going to the gym a lot. Relationships, anything and everything would take precedent over going to meetings, because after a while, I just saw it as a hassle. I was going to meetings at 7 a.m. And every single day. And then I started working out. Well, I found out that I could go to the gym at 7 a.m., get that out of the way, and then start my day with work. And so AA and hanging out with those like-minded people would kind of take a back burner. And so I would drift away from the pack, as they would say. Now, AA may not be for everyone, and that's totally fine. However you do it is how you do it. I actually looked up online. The closest meeting around here is over in Spartanburg, which is 22 miles away. It takes me an hour to get there. That's the town that I'm currently working in. And they only have like 4 meetings a day. And the only one that I would be able to get to is at noon, which means I'd get out at 1 and I'd have about almost 3 hours before having to go into work. And so I'm not exactly sure what I would do with my time I'm not exactly sure what I would do with my time. So that might be an excuse, but I'm definitely not going to go there, get out at 1, come back home to be home at 2, just to leave a half hour later, to travel another hour back. That doesn't make any sense. So what I've done instead, or what I'm doing now, is I've joined a couple of different groups on Facebook, pardon me, with like-minded people. There's a bunch of sobriety-minded groups on Facebook, and I check in on a daily basis. I read some of the posts, I'll comment, I'll post posts of my own. And while it doesn't give me the same satisfaction as actually being in the rooms, it does help a little bit. So, as soon as I can, I'll probably try and find a support system, and start going at least on, a once in a while type basis, especially if I start getting up in my head and, start getting an itch or something, not necessarily to drink, but just with like little things that are going on in my life, just to kind of get myself out of my head, put myself in a positive environment, and, kind of reset my day. Another mistake that I have looked back to see that I've made on multiple occasions is not preparing myself for when life got real. Early in sobriety, I kind of have feelings of elation and things are going great. My relationship is kind of smoothing over. Things at work aren't as frustrating because I've got a clear head and things like that. But that elation, that pink cloud as they call it, can easily be pulled out at any time. And if I'm not prepared for it, if I haven't mentally, told myself, hey, this is a temporary feeling, things are going to get real, then, it kind of comes as a shock. And immediately, my first instinct out of habit, if for nothing else, is to hit the bottle. Because alcohol has the ability to just kind of mask everything, kind of make everything kind of temporarily go away so I don't have to deal with it. And so I need to find a way to prepare myself. If I go on this interview and, I don't get the job, it will be a disappointment because that means I'm going to have to be in the restaurant longer than I would ever want to. If this thing with the Peace Corps doesn't work out, then, what else am I going to do? So actually creating a plan of how I'm going to deal with it. A meeting might be a good idea, whether or not I get the job. Because even when stuff, became overjoyous, if things really started going my way, I'd pick up the bottle because that would just make it even better. I always want things to be even better. If I have one slice of pizza and it's great, 6 more is even better. And so why not, make myself even better or make myself feel even better? So either way, I need to have a plan. Actually, that's a lesson that I just learned. So not just when life gets real, but when life gets great, have a plan on how I'm going to deal with that. So I hope you're getting value out of these videos. If you are, again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell and you'll get a notification of every time I create a video, which is almost every day. I hope you have a fantastic one. Take care.